Welcome, welcome. You're here today because you've made the decision to take control of your life, to take charge of your emotions, and to stop letting anyone or anything hold you back. This is the decision that will change everything. The way you think, the way you feel, the way you respond, it all starts right now. After years of helping people like you break through mental barriers and emotional limitations, I can tell you this: everything changes the moment you realize you have the power to control how you respond. Today, we're going to dive deep into the powerful mindset that allows you to never get angry or bothered by anyone. Let's dive in and transform your life together. You control your response. Your emotions are your responsibility. Every single day, we are confronted by situations and people who challenge our peace of mind. From someone cutting us off in traffic, to a colleague making an insensitive remark, or even someone close to us triggering an old wound, life is full of moments that could easily ignite anger, frustration, or hurt. In these moments, it can feel as though we have no control, like we're at the mercy of others' words or actions. But the truth is, you control your response. Your emotions are your responsibility. Instead, when we realize that our response is within our control, we reclaim our emotional power. This doesn't mean that we will never feel anger or frustration again, but it means we are empowered to decide how to act on those feelings. We can choose whether to react impulsively or to pause and respond thoughtfully. This power begins with awareness. The first step is to recognize that our emotions don't arise out of nowhere. They are a product of how we interpret the events around us. For instance, if someone insults you, the initial emotional reaction is triggered by the meaning you attach to their words. If you interpret their words as a personal attack, anger or hurt will arise. However, if you choose to interpret those words as a reflection of their own issues, rather than a reflection of your worth, your emotional response will be entirely different. In this way, we become the architects of our own emotional landscape. Understanding this gives us the space to pause before reacting. It gives us the opportunity to question our assumptions, to challenge the meaning we assign to situations, and to choose a response that aligns with our goals and values. When we take a moment to consider the bigger picture, we often realize that the emotional reaction we were about to have is not worth the energy we would expend. The power lies in choosing whether we want to continue carrying the burden of anger or to release it and maintain our inner peace. An important aspect of controlling your response is accepting that you cannot control what others do or say. People will always act according to their own beliefs, experiences, and emotions. They may speak harshly, act impulsively, or make choices that you disagree with. But just because they act in a certain way doesn't mean you have to react in kind. You are the one who gets to decide how you respond. Please. By mastering your emotional response, you will find yourself more at peace, more present, and more able to navigate the ups and downs of life with a sense of control and self-assurance. Stay above drama. Don't engage with what doesn't serve you. Drama is an inevitable part of life. People argue, misunderstandings occur, conflicts arise, and emotions can run high. Whether it's in the workplace, within your family, or in social circles, it's easy to get swept up in the emotional intensity of situations. However, one of the most important lessons you can learn in life is to stay above drama, to not engage with what doesn't serve you. The nature of drama is that it pulls us into a cycle of emotional turmoil. It often thrives on chaos, confusion, and the desire for attention. When we engage with drama, we become part of this cycle. We get drawn into conflicts that don't contribute to our personal growth, peace, or happiness. We end up spending our time and energy on situations that, in the grand scheme of things, don't serve us. We get distracted by petty arguments, gossip, and negativity that derail our focus and take us away from what truly matters. But here's the secret. You don't have to engage. You have the power to step back and choose whether or not you want to participate in the drama unfolding around you. This doesn't mean you ignore problems or avoid conflicts when they arise. It means that you choose not to get swept up in the emotional chaos and instead focus on solutions and maintaining your peace. You choose to rise above the situation rather than letting it drag you down. When you stay above drama, you take a step back and observe the situation without being emotionally entangled in it. You gain perspective. Drama often distorts reality, making small issues seem much larger than they actually are. It encourages impulsive reactions, emotional outbursts, and decisions driven by temporary feelings. By choosing not to engage, you create the mental and emotional space needed to respond thoughtfully and calmly rather than reacting in haste. Staying above drama also means setting boundaries. It means understanding that not every conflict, argument, or situation is your responsibility to resolve. There are times when the best course of action is to simply walk away. Not every disagreement requires your input, and not every drama needs your attention. People often get caught in cycles of drama because they feel obligated to weigh in on every issue or problem that arises. But you are not obligated to engage with negativity or chaos. You can choose to prioritize your peace and energy instead. When you choose to stay above drama, you start to notice how much energy and time you were previously wasting on things that didn't serve you. You no longer get pulled into pointless arguments, gossip sessions, or toxic environments. Instead, you spend your time and focus on things that truly matter, on your goals, your relationships, and your personal well-being. The beauty of staying above drama is that you not only protect your peace, but you also inspire others to do the same. People who constantly engage in drama are often looking for validation, attention, or emotional connection through chaos. When you refuse to engage in drama, you show others that there's a better way to live, one that is focused on peace, growth, and positivity. Over time, you may even find that those who thrive on drama start to distance themselves from you because they recognize that you are no longer available to participate in their emotional turmoil. And this is a good thing. It clears space in your life for people and situations that are aligned with your highest self. Staying above drama doesn't mean being passive or avoiding challenges. It means choosing to maintain your emotional balance and not allowing external circumstances to disturb your inner peace. It's about seeing the bigger picture and understanding that not every battle is worth fighting. By staying above drama, you create space for clarity, focus, and the pursuit of things that truly matter in your life. Be self-aware. Recognize your emotions and thought patterns. Self-awareness is a critical tool in mastering your emotions and maintaining control over how you respond to external situations. When you are self-aware, you are in tune with your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in real time. You become conscious of the internal triggers that influence your emotional reactions. Understanding your emotional responses enables you to choose how to act rather than being automatically controlled by them. It's not about suppressing emotions, but about recognizing when and why you feel a certain way. This awareness creates the space necessary to change your emotional patterns, allowing you to choose healthier reactions. Over time, this practice helps you become less reactive and more intentional in your responses, enabling you to handle difficult situations with greater calm and composure. Don't look for external validation. Find your worth within yourself. When you rely on external validation, you put your emotional well-being and sense of self-worth in the hands of others. This can lead to frustration, disappointment, and insecurity because others' opinions can be inconsistent and beyond your control. True strength comes from finding your worth within yourself. When you understand and appreciate your own value, you stop seeking approval or recognition from outside sources. Your self-esteem no longer fluctuates based on the opinions of others, and you begin to feel more grounded and empowered. When you validate yourself, you tap into an unshakable sense of inner strength that allows you to weather any storm without being swayed by external influences. Take responsibility for your life. Own your choices and outcomes. Taking responsibility for your life is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. Instead of blaming others, circumstances, or external factors for the way things are, you recognize that you are the architect of your own life. Every choice you make, every reaction you have, contributes to the outcome of your experiences. When you own your choices, you gain the power to change your circumstances. It means acknowledging that you have control over how you respond, even when things are outside your control. This mindset shifts you from a victim mentality to one of empowerment, where you actively create the life you want. Taking responsibility for your actions, thoughts, and decisions leads to greater personal growth and fulfillment because you stop waiting for others to change and start making changes within yourself. Don't dwell on the past, focus on the present moment. Dwelling on the past can be a major barrier to personal growth and emotional well-being. The past is full of events and decisions that can't be changed, yet we often find ourselves revisiting those memories, replaying mistakes, or worrying about things that went wrong. This prevents us from fully experiencing the present moment and keeps us trapped in cycles of regret or resentment. The present is the only time where you have the power to act, to create, and to experience life. When you focus on the present, you free yourself from the emotional weight of the past, allowing yourself to move forward with clarity and purpose. By letting go of past grievances and mistakes, you open the door to new possibilities and experiences, making the present your most powerful moment for change. We've covered a lot today, and now it's time to put all of this into action. You hold the power to control your reactions, to take ownership of your life, and to guard your peace against anything that comes your way. It's all in your hands. Your responses, your thoughts, your energy, and now you know how to protect it. Remember, the key to this transformation is understanding that you are the one who controls your emotions, not the world around you. By taking responsibility, staying above drama, and choosing peace, you can live a life of limitless growth and happiness. Thank you for tuning in to Tony Robbins Track. Keep using these tools, keep growing, and remember, your best life is waiting for you. See you in the next one. Take a deep breath, center yourself before reacting. In our fast-paced world where emotions often feel like they're on the edge of exploding, it's crucial to realize the importance of slowing down, even for just a moment before reacting. The first step in mastering our emotional responses is learning to take a deep breath. This might seem like a simple, almost insignificant action, but it's incredibly powerful when it comes to maintaining control over our emotions. When we find ourselves triggered, the natural instinct is to respond immediately, to react in the heat of the moment. But this knee-jerk reaction often leads us to say things we don't mean, make decisions we later regret, or worst of all, allow someone else to hijack our emotional state. In those moments, we feel as though we are controlled by our impulses and that we're at the mercy of whatever has triggered us. This is where the power of a deep breath comes in. Taking a deep breath is a simple yet profound practice that immediately interrupts the cycle of automatic emotional responses. It gives you a moment of space between the stimulus and your reaction. This pause is crucial because it allows you to regain control over your emotions. By taking that single intentional breath, you signal to your body and mind that you are not going to react impulsively. You are going to choose how to respond. We're triggered. Our bodies go into a stress response. Our heart rate increases, our muscles tense, and our minds start racing. The deep breath acts as an antidote to this heightened state. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the body and slows down the physiological stress response. In that brief moment, your heart rate lowers, your muscles relax, and your mind becomes clearer. This is when you regain the ability to think critically and make conscious decisions instead of reacting out of frustration or anger. But it's not just about calming the body, it's also about centering the mind. A deep breath reconnects you to the present moment. It brings you out of the automatic reactive mode and into a space of awareness and choice. Instead of being swept away by the emotions of the moment, you create the opportunity to pause, observe, and decide how you want to respond. This might sound simple, but when you master the ability to take a deep breath before reacting, you unlock a level of emotional resilience that will serve you for the rest of your life. You begin to see situations not as threats to your peace, but as opportunities to practice control and to show up as the best version of yourself. Shift your focus. Understand others' actions reflect their own issues. In life, we often find ourselves entangled in the actions and words of others. Someone might say something hurtful, do something inconsiderate, or act in a way that leaves us feeling frustrated or offended. In these moments, it's easy to feel personally attacked, to take everything someone does or says as a direct reflection of our worth or character. But the reality is that others' actions reflect their own issues, not yours. The key to maintaining peace and control over your emotions lies in shifting your focus. When someone behaves negatively toward you, your first reaction might be to think, why are they doing this to me? Or what did I do wrong? But these questions place the blame squarely on your shoulders. It's as if we take their actions personally, assuming that they are directly targeting us or trying to undermine us. However, the truth is far more liberating. People's actions, whether positive or negative, are far more reflective of their inner world than anything to do with you. When you begin to understand this, you free yourself from taking things personally. Instead of seeing someone's hurtful words as a direct attack, you can choose to interpret them as a reflection of that person's inner struggles, insecurities, or emotions. People often lash out because they are dealing with their own unresolved issues, fears, or frustrations. Their words and actions are a manifestation of their inner turmoil, not an accurate judgment of your character or value. For example, when someone criticizes you, instead of reacting with anger or defensiveness, take a step back and consider what might be driving their behavior. Are they feeling insecure? Are they struggling with their own challenges? Are they projecting their own fears onto you? Once you begin to recognize that their actions are about them, not you, the emotional weight of the situation lifts. You no longer feel personally responsible for their behavior or emotionally impacted by it. By shifting your focus away from yourself and onto the person's internal world, you gain a sense of control and peace. You stop getting caught up in the emotional chaos of the situation, and instead you take a step back and see the bigger picture. You see that their behavior is not about you at all. It's about them, their struggles, and their perspectives. This shift in focus also helps you maintain a sense of calm and detachment. When you no longer take things personally, you are free from the emotional roller coaster of being hurt, angry, or defensive every time someone acts in a way you don't like. You create a mental and emotional space where you can respond with clarity and composure rather than reacting out of emotion. In practice, shifting your focus is a skill that requires awareness and mindfulness. It's easy to slip back into old patterns of taking things personally, but the more you practice this shift, the easier it becomes. The key is to remember that other people's actions are always a reflection of their inner state and not a reflection of your worth. When you internalize this truth, you begin to navigate interactions with a sense of peace and understanding, no matter what others may do. Don't waste your energy. Protect your peace from negativity. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with external stimuli, opinions, judgments, criticisms, expectations. Whether it's the stress of a demanding job, the negativity of social media, or the toxic behaviors of others, there's always something or someone trying to pull us out of balance and into emotional turmoil. But here's the reality. You don't have to waste your energy on negativity. Your peace is one of your most valuable assets, and protecting it should be a top priority. When you allow others to dictate your emotional state, when you get pulled into arguments, drama, or negativity, you give away your energy. Every time you react with anger, frustration, or resentment, you expend valuable energy that could be better spent on things that matter, on your goals, your passions, your growth. By wasting your energy on negativity, you not only harm your emotional well-being, but you also deplete your ability to focus on the things that truly serve your life. The challenge, however, is that negativity is all around us. People criticize, judge, and attack. Media outlets stir fear and anxiety. Workplaces and relationships can be filled with tension and conflict. It's easy to get caught up in the drama, to feel like we must engage, defend ourselves, or react to every negative thing that comes our way. But the truth is, you don't have to engage with every negative situation or person. Think about how much energy you spend on things that drain you. How many times have you gotten into a pointless argument or spent hours stewing over something someone said that didn't even deserve your attention? By constantly focusing on negativity, you deplete yourself. You waste your emotional resources on things that ultimately don't contribute to your happiness or success. The first step in protecting your peace is recognizing that you don't have to respond to everything. Not every criticism deserves a reply. Not every negative comment needs to be internalized. Not every stressful situation requires your emotional investment. The more you protect your energy, the more you preserve your peace, and the more focused and aligned you become with your true goals. In doing this, you create an emotional boundary between yourself and external sources of negativity. You stop taking things personally, and you stop allowing others to control your emotional state. You can still be compassionate and empathetic without getting caught up in the emotional turmoil of others. You can still offer support and understanding without losing your peace in the process. Over time, as you get better at protecting your peace, you'll find that negativity has less of an impact on you. You'll be able to move through the world with greater ease, not letting the negativity of others pull you off course. The more you choose peace, the more peace you'll experience in your life. And that peace becomes an incredible source of power, clarity, and strength, allowing you to navigate any situation with grace and composure. Recognize the power of choice. Choose how to respond in any situation. One of the most powerful realizations we can have in life is that we always have a choice. Life will continuously throw challenges our way, people will come and go, and situations will unfold in ways we don't always expect. The common tendency for many of us is to feel overwhelmed by these circumstances, as if we have no control over the outcomes or our reactions. But the truth is, in every situation, we have a choice. We have the choice to decide how we will respond. At first, it might seem like a daunting realization. How can we possibly choose our response when someone is rude, when we are facing pressure at work, or when life doesn't seem to be going the way we want it? But when you understand that your response is always under your control, you unlock a level of personal power that is unmatched. Choosing how to respond doesn't mean ignoring your emotions or pretending that you're not affected by circumstances. What it means is that you understand that while you can't control what happens around you, you can control how you perceive it and how you choose to engage with it. This realization gives you the freedom to step out of the reactive state and into a proactive one, where you are no longer at the mercy of your circumstances, but are the creator of your emotional experience. When you recognize the power of choice, you are no longer bound by knee-jerk reactions. You stop living from a place of automatic responses where everything is personal or feels like a threat. Instead, you begin to operate with awareness and intention. In every moment, you get to decide if you will react in frustration, anger, or stress, or if you will choose a more measured, calm, and thoughtful response. You are not a passive bystander in your life. You are the active participant choosing the path forward. In the heat of the moment, it might be challenging to remember that we have a choice. Our emotions can feel overwhelming, and it's easy to feel like we're powerless. But the key is to practice mindfulness. By becoming aware of our emotions, we create the mental space needed to pause, reflect, and choose how we will react. This ability to pause and reflect before reacting is what gives you the power to choose. In time, this becomes a habit. You stop letting your emotions control you, and instead you control them. When you actively practice the power of choice, you begin to notice the difference in the way you approach life. You stop feeling like things are happening to you, and instead you realize that you have the ability to shape your experience through your responses. Even when situations are difficult or stressful, you can choose how you want to move through them. This perspective shift can radically transform how you experience challenges and setbacks. Instead of seeing them as obstacles that control your emotions, you begin to see them as opportunities to practice choice and to grow in your emotional resilience. The beauty of choosing your response is that it empowers you to remain aligned with your values, your goals, and the bigger picture of your life. When you react impulsively, you may find yourself responding in a way that doesn't align with who you truly are or what you stand for. When you pause and make a conscious decision about how to respond, you ensure that your actions reflect your highest intentions. You are no longer at the mercy of external forces. You are guided by your inner compass.